This is such a horrible story. What you're seeing there is surveillance camera footage being spread by the police of a man that was alleged to have been involved in a multi-city, effectively serial attack and serial killing spree against unhoused individuals. They spread this video in the hopes that it might generate leads so that this man can be caught and the wave of violence that was being seen in 2 different cities could be stopped. Well, in this case, we have good news. Thankfully, that or other efforts worked and the man was actually found. But we want to give you all the details about what happened. So they'd spread previously some other photos. DC police had spread these photos of a wanted suspect. They'd offered up to $55,000 to find him. And all of this is in connection with a string of fatal shootings of unhoused people in New York and DC. In total, at least 5 men have been shot, 2 fatally in just the past couple of weeks in a series of attacks that police believed were connected, and in the end, it looks like they were. The Federal Bureaus of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives also said the shootings were connected. You can see a little bit more of the footage. They really tried to use whatever was available to track this person down. What happened was 3 men were shot in separate incidents in Washington between March 3rd and March 9th. 1 man was found dead when a police officer spotted a tent on fire. In New York City, 2 men around the Soho neighborhood were shot in separate incidents. 1 man yelled after he was shot in the forearm and the suspect ran away. Video showed the moment the suspect shot the other man, and police later said he was found dead with gunshot wounds to the head. Now, thankfully, he has been caught, as you can see in this announcement. He was arrested and is being interviewed by the homicide branch. They thank the community for their tips. It's not clear exactly how he was found yet, but considering what was going on, the targeting of unhoused people in 2 different cities, it's not new. Like, this sort of violence is endemic to the United States, but it is good that at the very least they stopped this guy before more people had to die. What do you think, Jessica?
Yeah, I think we would just drive ourselves insane trying to figure out why someone would do something like this. But I think we know that like there's been a shift in our society where not every crime is committed with very clear personal motive. People are committing crimes without reason. And I think like wherever we see these crimes committed where there's no personal motive or attachment to the persons, that are victims of the crime, it's a reflection of just like flaws in our society and like societal decay. Like we've got to address what's going on in society if we don't want these terrible things to keep happening.
Yeah, and look, the constant violence, like I said, isn't new. It's horrible and it needs to be stopped. Socially, we need to stop the constant demonizing of these people that I think for a lot of people leads to fear and suspicion and hatred. I think that gives rise to some of the violence, the way that the media covers these issues. But we also need to care as much about those who die, like during the pandemic, unhoused people died at very high rates from COVID because they didn't have access to healthcare. Those are just as tragic as intentional targeted violence. We may not see it, it's not gonna be on Inside Edition or whatever, but it is just as tragic. And so like if this bothers you, if this makes you feel sick that someone would do this, well, bear in mind, it happens frequently and it's not always as easy to spot. So advocate for politicians. They're gonna have sane, reasonable, compassionate policies towards this community because lives are very much on the line. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.